Hey, welcome back everybody. This is your new topic. It's a geography topic and we're going to be looking at mountains over the next few lessons. So in this lesson, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at the actual features of mountains, and then we're going to be comparing different mountains and seeing what similarities and differences there are. Okay, so before we get started with the features, what actually are mountains? So mountains are areas of land that are much higher than the land that's surrounding them. They're also usually higher and steeper than a hill and are generally about 600 meters high. So often they're found together, which would be called in like a group of mountains, which would be called a mountain range, but sometimes you can have single summits, so single mountains. We're going to just watch a quick video just introducing you to mountains, giving you some quick little facts that might help you understand what they are.
Heading to the top of Mount Elbert, the tallest of all the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains, or Rockies for short, is a mountain range that stretches all the way from the USA into Canada. A mountain range is a group of mountains found on land or under the sea, and they include the Andes in South America, the Himalayas in Asia, the Alps in Europe, or even the Mid-Atlantic Ridge deep in the ocean. Some mountain ranges are formed when two sections of the Earth's outer surface, called tectonic plates, push against each other and the pressure forces the ground up. Not all mountains are formed this way. Some of the biggest mountains in Britain, like Ben Nevis in Scotland and Snowdon in Wales, used to be volcanoes. But they became extinct long ago and haven't been active for millions of years. Here in the Rockies, I've been following the rivers that have carved a valley through the mountains. It's a sunny day today, but I'm going to have to put on another layer. That's because the higher I climb, the colder the temperature is. If I was to climb a really tall mountain, like Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world, I might also need an oxygen mask. That's because the higher you go, the thinner the air becomes, which means there's less oxygen around to breathe. I've reached the top! And now I need to use my most important piece of equipment, my selfie stick!
Okay, so that was just a little bit of a introduction to mountains, about what they are. So she did speak about some different like some famous mountains. She also mentioned how mountains are formed, and we're going to put more detail into that into the next coming lessons, but today we're just going to focus particularly on the features. Okay then, so here I've got some pictures of some different mountains. What we're going to do is we're going to be considering what the similarities and differences are about these mountains. I've put some similarities and differences here. This is going to be an activity on your assignment, so I do recommend you listening and making a note of these, but also having a look and seeing what other differences and similarities you can see. So some of the ones that I've noted down is that some of the mountains have lots of snow, some of them just have a little bit, whereas some of them have no snow at all. We've also got that some of the mountains have more smooth edges, so you can see this one's got a very smooth edge. However, other mountains have more of a rockier, rugged looking mountain, so you can see these ones here are more rockier and rugged. Another thing that could be a similarity, could be a difference, is that some of them are groups of mountains, which we call a mountain range. So here you can see there's lots of different mountains, same here, and up here at the top. So as this one, you can see there's one in the distance and one over there. Whereas some of them are single summits, so which means just one mountain on its own. So you can see here, this is a single summit, and so is this one here. Another key sort of similarity between all mountains is that they're all really tall. As we learned earlier, mountains are often around 600 meters tall or higher, and that they're usually steeper and higher than hills. Okay, so we're just going to watch another quick video, just looking at some more of the features of mountains. Okay, that video's not working, so no worries, we'll come back to that. I will try and add that video to your lesson instead. Just make sure that we're on. Yeah, that's fine. So I'll just attach the video to the assignment. Okay then, so let's have a look at the key features of mountains. So we've got 10 key features here. We've got the summit, the outcrop, the slope, the plateau, the valley, the foot, the face, ridge, tree line, and snow line. So we're going to be looking at what these different key features are and what the definitions are. So then the summit is the very top of the mountain. So it's the peak, the very, very top of the mountain. We've also got the snow line. So the snow line is sort of the area on your, it's an invisible line. It's like an invisible line on the mountain. And anything above that snow line is covered with snow and ice all year round. And this is due to it being so cold. So the higher up you go, the more cold it is. So it's always snow and ice. We've also got the outcrop, which is a rock formation that's visible to the surface, visible from the surface. So near the bottom of the mountain, you will have some different outcrops. So they're just rock formations. You've got the valley, which is the area of lowland in between mountains. So you can see here. The slope, a slope is an area of ground that is increasing in height, so it's sloping up or sloping down. The plateau is an area of flat, high ground. So if you see any mountains with flat tops or very high up, there's sort of a flat ridge, that would be a plateau. A face is a side of a mountain, whereas the foot is the bottom of the mountain. You've also got a ridge, which is a long, narrow, high section of land. So you can see here, this is very, it's high, but it's very narrow and long. You've also got the tree line, which is the highest point the forests are found. So the highest point of the forest down below at the bottom of the mountains would be your tree line. Okay, so let me show you what your assignment is going to look like then. So you have got 2 activities to do for your assignment today. Your first activity, what you need to do is you need to find the correct definition for the different features here, and you need to put the diagram numbers. So I'm going to give you an example. So summit. What is a summit? My definition options are here. I'm going to read them and I'm going to pick out which one I think the summit is. So I know that the summit is the very top of the mountain. So you can either highlight, right click, copy, and then click on your box, right click, and paste, or what you can do is you can just find which one it is. So I know it's the top of a mountain, then I will copy the definition. So it's the top of a mountain. So it's completely up to you what you do. So you need to do all of the definition. So for example, the snow line would be above here, snow and ice cover the mountain all year. Okay, so once you've put in all of your definitions, I'm not going to do all of them. Once you put in all of your definitions, then what you need to do is the diagram number. So what I mean by this is down here, there's a diagram. And because I know we've had some issues with text boxes and moving text boxes, I've put a number next to each of the boxes. It's just going down in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what I want you to do is figure out, so here 1 is pointing to the very top of the mountain. So I know that this is the summit. So what I'm going to do, in where it says summit and diagram number, I'm going to put number 1 because this here is where I think the summit is. Same again for number 2. So number 2 is actually pointing to the snow line. So I would put next to snow line and number 2. They don't go in order. The first 2 do, but the rest of them, so you've got to look at them and think, right, what do I think that is? So for example, number 8, I would say this here might be the valley. Or number 9 might be the valley. You've got to look and see what you think. So do all your definitions first and then do your diagram numbers. Okay. And then that's for your first activity. And then for your second activity, what I'd like you to do is I want you to describe the similarities and differences between the mountains pictured below. So it's a little bit like that first task. Well, it's the same as that first task that we did at the start of the Active Inspire. So look at the pictures and tell me what some of the similarities are. So I might say the similarities are the shape of the mountains. I might say the differences are that the mountains have different amounts of snow on them. I could also see that some mountains have smooth edges, some mountains have more rockier edges. Furthermore, some mountains have greenery, some mountains don't have any. You could say some mountains have flat tops, some make a peak. I've given you 4 sentence starters, but you can write more sentences than that. What I'm actually also going to do as well is I'm going to put a little challenge on the bottom. So your challenge activity is to, this is optional, but if you do this, you might get some dojos or just extra brownie points, is to research any famous mountains across the world. So research famous mountain ranges around the world, because that is what we're going to be doing next lesson. So if you can have a go at researching and telling me what some of them are, you can even put me some facts in. I'll put a text box in here. So just tell me what the mountain range is called, where they are, and the facts about them. And then that'll make you much more knowledgeable for tomorrow's lesson. Okay, thank you everybody. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I look forward to tomorrow's lesson where we look at different famous mountain ranges across the world. Don't forget that this assignment is going to be posted onto Teams, where you'll be able to do your assignment from there, and we'll be seeing who has done them. Okay, thank you.